Hello friends, this is Robin Feicht at Stampin' Country. How would you like to learn how to make this lovely double Z-fold card? It sounds really sophisticated, doesn't it? It's not as difficult as it may seem. Let me show you how it's done. We're going to use the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set and the Peaceful Boughs stamp set. We're also going to use the coordinating dies, which are called the what are they? The Beautiful Boughs dies. And then we're going to fussy cut the magnolia. Okay, for our card base, it's Mossy Meadow cardstock, and it's cut 11 inches by 4¼ inches. And then we're going to, that'll be our base. And then we're going to cut a second, what I like to call my second base, and it's 9 inches by 3 inches. And then we're going to have some Magnolia Lane designer paper, and the first piece is cut 4 inches by 5¼ and then the other two pieces are cut 2½ inches by 4 inches. And then this is a piece of shimmery white cardstock. It's a square, so it is 2¾ inches square. And that's what you're going to need to make this card. Let's start by scoring our card base. So you want to score at 5½, and then you want to score at 2¾ So that's going to give you 3 sections to make your Z-fold. 5½ and 2¾ Now on the smaller one, we're going to score at 3 and then again at 6. Don't you love this little stopper? It'll stop you right at 6. So we'll score once again. So you're going to have a triple fold on the smaller piece as well. I'm loving my new trimmer. So this is the Magnolia Lane designer paper. Yes, the other side is gorgeous, but we do want the stripes on this one. So we'll put our 2 smaller pieces on our 2 smaller sections.
I know you're thinking,
and then our bigger piece on the larger section.
Paper, but this is pretty too.
This is just going to give us a lovely striped backdrop.
So we have
now this is not Christmas paper, even though this card may be used for Christmas paper, but we'll talk a little more about that here in a minute.
We're going to set these aside.
Let's set this aside. Now this is a shimmery white cardstock because I wanted a little shimmer on my flowers. I'm using the Good Morning Magnolia, and this is the great big magnolia flower, although we're going to try to make it look like another flower just by the way we color it. That's a little light there. I'm using my Stamparatus so I can go back and stamp again. Beautiful. I'm using Tuxedo Black ink because I am going to color with my Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol markers. And then we're going to stamp another little flower. And I'll show you how to color these beauties. We're going to use a lovely lipstick Stampin' Blends. And you'll notice that I'm coloring the shadows with the darker shade and then going in and blending out with the lighter shade. So everywhere that the flower meets, there's shadows. Anywhere where there's darker lines and artwork, you want some darker ink. And then you can go back. You don't want to do too many ahead because you want it to still be wet so that it'll blend out. Just work your way around the flower. Don't worry about going outside the lines because we're going to fussy cut this flower. In fact, it may be better if you go outside the lines so that we don't have any white showing on the edges. And that's why I'm fussy cutting rather than using my dies this time. For the center, I use Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends. This is the Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends. I'm hitting the highlights, the shadows, and the veins with the darker Mossy Meadow, and then coloring out with the lighter. And again, I'm going outside the lines. It's very liberating, by the way, because we're going to fussy cut it. And it's quicker and easier and a little fun to rebel a little. So I'm using the darker Lovely lipstick once again and coloring the shadows in the darker spaces, and then I go back and blend with the lighter. We'll use the Mossy Meadow for the leaves. And then, as I mentioned before, we're going to fussy cut because I don't want that white edge. And I want control of what part of the flower I want. I'm actually going to leave the stem and the larger leaf off for this card. And then we're going to use the Beautiful Boughs dies. We're going to cut some greenery and some pine cones. This is soft suede cardstock, and I'm inking the pine cones with Early Espresso ink. You'll need your cutting machine. I'm using the platform, the adapter, cutting pad, then my stamped images. Place your rough side down on your dies, and then your final cutting pad. So I'm going to cut out, I think I had 5 of the pine cones. And then this is Mossy Meadow cardstock. I'm actually placing these dies up because there's a lot of detail. And it cuts just a little bit better on the detail with that. And I have the medium size and the smaller boughs from the Beautiful Boughs dies that we're going to put on our card. We'll ink a few of the pine boughs. This is again from the Peaceful Boughs stamp set. This is on our square. We're going to fold this into a trifold. I want a little bit more greenery. And then we'll add our square. Now I use the Christmas sentiment from the Beautiful Boughs stamp, or the Peaceful Boughs, but this time I'm going to put a birthday sentiment. Just goes to show that you could change a card up just by changing the sentiment. So instead of a Christmas card, I now have a birthday card. I'm using Lovely lipstick ink, and I'm going to stamp a birthday sentiment. And then we just need to put everything together. So we'll place that in the center, and we're going to put our greenery with our adhesive. I'm putting my bigger bough here, and a couple of the pine cones. I love the mixing and the matching. Makes it look totally different. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to put this on. So we're going to go ahead and fold this. We're going to fold it like a Z. There's 2 smaller pieces on the front of the card. And then we're going to see about our placement here with this. We need to put our flower on. Okay, so we're going to fold this like a Z. And we'll place the back square on first. It's in just a little bit, maybe an inch or so. And then just fold everything over, and you only want adhesive there on the left side of that because that's open, so you have the 2 Z's. And then we're going to put another greenery. And then I'm going to show you how to put the final flowers. I don't want them peeking out, anything but the pine cone. The rest of it's going to be hidden inside. So we'll put our flower and the other 2 pine cones. And I want those hidden inside so you have that surprise peak of color when you open it. We're almost done. It's so beautiful. So there you have it, your double Z fold card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you liked it, be sure to like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much and have a fabulous day.